Hi everyone, it's Michael. Today I'm going to show you how to do the matrix. Before we go into it, it's really important that first you go to learn all the requirements, all the prerequisites I wrote before, because the methodology I'm following, it's necessary that you have them, and if you're comfortable with those steps before we go there, then it will be so much easier to learn the matrix. The matrix is a really cool name, but from my experience it makes people also think the tricks way too complicated compared to what it is actually. And I think it could be also cool if we just open our mind to see what are all the little pieces in there, and so we know on what we can work, what are the entries, and also be able to use only half of a matrix and everything. The same not for the Steve or the tricks name. I think sometimes they are a box who make them more complicated to learn and also not so easy to connect to other things we are doing. And so right now I will just show you what are the different pieces we are actually using when what we call the matrix. The matrix often starts from a Steve, then you learn. Then here to go around the shoulder, it's basically a neck wrap, shoulder wrap, but also combined with a propeller. If you see just for that part, still propeller, shoulder wrap. Then here there is the half of a neck wrap going to another shoulder wrap with a propeller. So this is movement you already learned in previous tutorial. Now it's about how to put them all together and also having a focus on the posture, the speed of the staff. It's still a complicated trick, but at least you see all the little pieces, and then it's not just one full thing, but a combination of few elements together. As usual, we will work with different sections today. For them, first we will start by a bit of posture and what's happening with the body while we are doing the matrix. Then I will show you also the propeller. You should have learned it already, but there is like a specific motion is necessary to understand what we are doing. Another step after will be simply to guide the movement and getting use of the pathway. Then we will see how to start it from stiff and to break it down in a few steps so you can work on it and get your full matrix. Let's start by the posture. So here I want you to still imagine that we have the staff, so we will understand why we do a certain move or not. So here the staff will be on my left arm, starting to roll, and will be around my biceps here. So what I want to do when that happens, I'm going to lean into my right knee. So like this, I can more easily having this diagonal line on my left side. Because here what we want to do, the staff gonna want to enter around our leg and make a shoulder wrap. So it needs space. If it's here, we just hit our face, so we need to lean to the side. And so the easiest way is to simply lean on your right knee here. Also, your arm gonna do a full circle going from the back to the front. So you can also just work on that, and your head you're gonna want to be out of the way to avoid smashing your face with the staff. So here the staff is going, when it's arriving around the biceps, I'm leaning on my right knee and doing a full circle, and you can imagine now the staff went over and is arriving around my left shoulder, and then this is a position when it's good to bend both knees to be able to bounce a bit the staff, because you want to absorb a bit the speed of the propeller we just did with that motion. So you are going in front, the staff go from your left shoulder to your neck, then it will go to your right shoulder here. The staff will start to, you will block the staff, so it will start to spin, and we want to open now the right side. So now from being on both knee, we're gonna go to our left one to open our right side. And we're gonna do the circle, but this time starting in front, going back. So again, here, left, the arm go from front and going back. And the staff here will make a turn and coming back on our arm. So if I do that all together, let's imagine the staff coming from the stiff, going around the biceps. We do lean on the right knee, making a circle, arriving both on our knee to balance it on our neck. It arrives on our right side, right shoulder. We start the movement with our right arm, lean on the left knee, open, and the staff is back here. This is the full body motion of the matrix. You see that you don't need to do it like in the movie. You can do it more minimal. Some people have managed to make it with a full body motion, which is beautiful, but also like you need to be aware on how much the body dynamic will influence the staff, give it more power and everything, so it's going to be a play. But at least now you can see a bit what posture you need to do, what with your arm, and you can just repeat it and try to feel where the staff should be. And if you can give this understanding to your body, like a bit of props so you understand what's happening, it will be way easier to go to the next steps. On that section, we will focus on the propeller, which is for me one of the reasons why a lot of people hurt themselves a lot with the matrix, is because of the lack of understanding of what's happening there and why it brings so much power. Basically, when we are in front and we want to bring the staff behind us to do the shoulder wrap, the motion we are doing is a propeller. We are doing this circle. And the thing, like we saw in the other video, propeller can give a lot of power and speed, and this is what will smash the back of your head really bad. So here, without going to a matrix, what I want us to try is to practice doing propeller going into still. So like we did in the previous video, I will not explain everything around the propeller. I have the center in front of me. I place around my elbow the off center, and I'm gonna draw the circle of the propeller. And the staff now is going back into a stiff and going back behind, you see? You can make it in front. And the staff is really going center and going and roll back to my neck. So this is for the entry of the matrix. And actually, when you do this movement, you will realize that it's really similar to the dynamic of the matrix, with the difference that you will go under the shoulder, not on top. And here, we're gonna work on the exit. So now, you see the center is out on my right, and I will do this propeller going to the left. And you see now the staff did a full turn around my arm and come back. Here, your challenge is first to be able to do the move, look at the staff, look also that you're gonna need to find a way to bounce a bit your head to not hurt yourself. That's why if you look at the staff, you have less chance to hurt yourself with the staff. And to feel that step by step and to do so, it's just easier to lean on your foot. And this is also a connection to the body posture we just did. And your goal here is to feel how the body posture can help, and also to slow it down. Because this is what will give you more control on the next step. You need to be able to have those kind of elbow propeller or the horizontal plane chill. If you can do that, the rest of the matrix will be so much easier. If you want to work more on propeller, I advise you to go and check the video I made for it. Next section, now we're gonna put a bit all the elements together and use our hands to guide through every step. So it's not like the full contact matrix, but just like going on each step. And this will help your brain and your body to get together into which will be the step we need to do the matrix. Now we have the staff. we're gonna imagine that we are doing a stiff, so the staff starts to roll. Here I will arrive with the center off. This is really, really important. As you can see, like the staff is on my biceps and the center is off, because otherwise we can't do a propeller. So when you're doing the stiff, you don't want the center to be on your arm, but off. Here, when the staff is on the bicep, this is the moment to start the movement. Here, you will start to draw the circle, and with your hand, with your second hand, you can just help the movement to come. You see, like I'm leaning on my right knee. And then, this is the moment where the staff will arrive on your shoulder. Now you go into both of your knee to bounce it. You can hold it a bit. Repeat the first step. Stiff, off center, draw the circle of the propeller, going back up, but bouncing on both of your knees. Now you're gonna transfer the weight to your left side by starting to draw the circle with your right arm. You are also blocking the staff and offering the exit here. And here, you want the staff also to be off center. So you went here, block, and we're gonna do this motion. I'm still holding the staff with my left hand, and draw the circle. Here you can try to catch it back, look at the staff, and try to repeat all the time and shake with the body posture. And do it really slow. Here you can help also with your with your right hand or left. I'm guiding through and things start to be a bit more clear. Let's go into starting the matrix from the stiff. Like always, we're gonna break things into little steps, so it's less overwhelming. We're gonna focus on the entry, then the exit, then trying to combine them together. Entry, you're gonna start again with this staff really off center. When you're doing your stiff, it will help. Normally, if you will be around here, take it a bit further. So like this, you know you will create already the off center to make it just easier. So I'm starting the stiff. The staff is rolling down, and when I arrive to around my elbow, biceps, I'm looking at the staff and I'm gonna start to draw the circle of the propeller by leaning down on my right side. And we're gonna try to catch the staff on our left shoulder. That's it for the moment. It will look like this. That's it, that's enough, because this is the most crucial part of the matrix, because this is where you are giving a lot of speed, and so this is what we're gonna focus on. I will show you from the side. After the staff went around your shoulder, the more you're gonna drop down, the easiest is gonna be to actually balancing out the staff, but it's not 100% necessary, because where you are also losing most of the time the control will be on the propeller. So if you have a clean propeller and you give the right amount of speed, you don't need to lean so much back on both of your knees, but it just helps to balancing out. So here what we can go for, when you manage to block it on the shoulder, is to go from entry of the matrix into an arm roll in front. So here we are combining matrix and stiff. That would be a good first step. If you manage to make a few of them and you are already managing good to do this, great, we can go for the second step, which will be the exit. For this, we're gonna start not from the left shoulder, but from a neck wrap, just to break it down into pieces. So we do a neck wrap, the staff arrives here, but now instead of going for a roll like we do, or to take it in front, we're gonna block the staff in its dynamic, plus starting this circular motion we were talking about before. So it will look like this. And here again, we are leaning on the left side. And we are doing this big circular motion and leaning and watching what's happening. For me, like if I watch the staff, I have less chance to smash my face, and it's what I advise you also here. And it can end up then in a arm roll, or it might go to the chest afterwards. A little tips you can help. Here it's again about body posture. When we start the movement here, the entry, we are going on the right knee but also going in front with our body. But when it's about the exit, it's actually the opposite. What will happen here is that we lean on the other side, but also in the same time slightly leaning backward. I'm not talking about doing the full back bend, but you want to draw the circle, and the intention is to bring back the staff to your center, not out. So for that, circle and leaning back, kind of offering your chest to the staff to come back. It's about drilling. Repeat those two steps I show you. Try to, like I said at the beginning of the video, not see the matrix only as a full movement, but you see it with the entry and the exit. You can actually combine them with other movements. Neck wrap, arm roll, and so like this, if you can work on them like this, instead of like just going, okay, I'm going for the matrix, when you will be playing, you might go for a steal, then open it for the exit of the matrix. So like this, you will not be stuck of, okay, I again failed the exit, I again failed the entry, because the matrix will require some dedication to clean. And so try to not see it as a failure, but more like, okay, I'm working on each pieces till everything will be clean together. Them who worked nicely, let's try to put them together. And here, just important to remember all the steps. Leaning to the side, propeller, coming back. Here you see I end up with on my arm, but if I would be leaning back more to the side, I'm offering the chest back. So like this, we do almost completely a full turn. And the more you will be bendy on your knee, the easier it will be. In the future video, I will show you how we can start also the matrix from more of a chest balance, but it's more advanced and often way more complicated for people to go from there, because it requires way more body dynamic. But as it's a complicated movement, if you are trying to learn it and you feel stuck somewhere, please send me a video. Show me where you are and I can advise you where to work on, because the matrix is like something we need a bit of work to put in there, but it's really valuable, and even when you get it, you need to keep on drilling to have it clean. And this is the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. It's quite a journey to go to the matrix, but I hope you enjoy it, is to learn all those different pathways and now to finally get to one of the most iconic movements in contact staff. Any feedback, let me know in the comment, and I'll see you in the next one.